Welcome to Season 12 of the Social Work Rants podcast, providing an inside look of the social work mental health profession. Social work being political, the struggles of social work entrepreneurship, the intersectionality of mental health and finances as it relates to social work and society as a whole. Let's get it. Hope you enjoy. Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Rants podcast. I'm your host, Bas Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. I appreciate all the love and support. Gracias a todos por su apoyo. You continue to follow the podcast on Instagram at the Social Work Rants podcast. That is all one word. You can follow along the podcast however you listen to podcasts. Make sure you uh, rate the podcast, leave comments, especially on the Spotify, Apple Music, however you listen to podcasts, and also hit the like button on the videos on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on the YouTube channel, and I appreciate everybody for supporting. It is still Financial Literacy Month, and and particularly I want to touch on is the power and control wheel when it comes to domestic violence. When we talk about domestic violence, uh, economic abuse does not get talked about enough in terms of DV cases. And for some of you may work at a domestic violence shelter, or if you work in foster care, I'm sure you've dealt with uh, DV cases as to why kids come into foster care. Um, might have a nonprofit for DV victims, and they go for male and female. We primarily talk about females or those identifying as female as victims, but males can be victims of domestic violence as well. Uh, we talked about heterosexual males and also LGBTQ plus males as well. So, in honor of Financial Literacy Month, we're going to talk about economic abuse and particularly signs of financial abuse uh, in terms of relationships. So, before I go into that, if you celebrate Easter, I hope you had a good Easter holiday. For many of my school social workers, vacations is over. Time to go back to work. Got this last weekend of your break and is back to the grind towards the end of the school year. You're almost done. It's almost over. So back to the grind on Monday. So shout out to all the school social workers. I did it for a year and a half. Done. Is school social work is something that one I do unless like I really really have to. So shout out to y'all. And shout out to all of us in the field of social work. Um, no school of social work can prepare us for what the orange man is doing, not doing. He don't know what the heck he's doing half the time. Uh, seeing the aftermath of post pandemic and every day dealing with two, three, four, five, six things this man or lack of a man, the president of the United States is doing in the White House in terms of everything that he's doing and not helping the people. And for those that voted for him, we told you so. It's we're at a point we can't educate folks anymore. Like things are getting worse by the day. So now it's back to I told you so. Now back to the subject at hand: signs of financial abuse. I'm actually going to read over the power control wheel and specifically what it says about economic abuse. So it says preventing the partner from getting a job or demanding the partner work longer hours or get a second job, making the partner ask for money, not letting the partner have access to family income. Now, that's a whole lot right there, and that's part of many of the signs of financial abuse. Um, yeah, I'm going to get to one by one. I'll be talking about, I'll be sharing a lot of examples in my upcoming book that I'm writing, and like I've been like procrastinating writing, but is in the process. Um, like I'm doing a lot of research about it, like history of people of color, especially Latino folks, and why we not ahead in terms of our finances and things of that nature. So I'm going like all the way back, like pre-Civil War, the U.S., Mexican American War, and Jim Crow laws affecting Latinos, especially Mexican Americans that were already here in the U.S. So like it's going to be like a researchy type book, but like towards the present and looking towards the future of what we can do. So it's time consuming because I'm doing a lot of reading. I've read like 4 or 5 books. I still halfway through of one book. I gotta finish. Once I'm done with that book, then I'm like grind time writing it out. So I don't have a time frame of when I'm going to release this book. I was hoping to do it for May. That's not happening, but definitely it's in the works. Um, again, so back to Power Control Wheel. I read what economic abuse is. So all that to say, I'm going to give specific examples, personal examples of these signs of financial abuse, because all this I'm saying, I experienced all of these things. You know, it was not fun, and but thanks to therapy, like overcoming this and not making these same mistakes again as best I can. So, uh, taking number one, taking money without consent. Like, for example, having like your partner going through your wallet and taking your debit card and using it and spending money or Lord knows what. Uh, could be anything. Again, without your consent, or using your credit cards. Debit cards are a little easy, kind of easier to kind of get away with. Credit cards, like if you steal a card, you risk um, getting into even more serious trouble than debit card. But still, it's not good to be obviously taking money without consent. Uh, number number two is a big one: micromanaging your income, expenses, and spending habits. There's sometimes in relationships you got a spender and the other person is a saver, and someone you meet in the middle without causing uh, the relationship drama. The studies have shown sex and money are the two major causes for divorce in the United States. Going at 50% or a little bit more than 50% of people in the U.S. get divorced, and sex and money are the two main reasons why. So, if you're not talking about your finances in your relationships, you know, you have to, especially that's the one. You're gonna get married. You're planning your future together, getting a house or an apartment together, or buying property together. Like you need to be talking about your finances and manage micromanaging income. Like why you need pocket money for? Because going outside costs $20 just leaving your house. The way inflation is, currently, it feels that way. Like you literally stepping a foot outside your door, and you like already like $5 leave your wallet without you doing anything. Um, again, another big one: recurring bailouts for every financial problem a person might be in. For example, like um, people might get arrested. Somebody might get arrested. You bailing them out. And probably get arrested again, and you bailing them out, or somebody's like into trouble or any sort of trouble, and you constantly spending money that you're trying to save up for something, and you got to spend it because somebody in your family is doing something they're not supposed to be doing, or they shouldn't be doing, and it's messing you up, and you gotta uh, bail them out. And it's not necessarily bail them out of jail, but just whatever situation that person might put themselves in, and you gotta be the one taking your personal money to deal with that. Another thing is limiting your ability to actually go to your job. Like you might be in a relationship with somebody that's already like, you know, messing themselves up, and like you got to stay home, like take care of them. Someone like get, purposely like getting high, or like doing something that they're not feeling well, and you got to take care of your partner, but like, hey, that was supposed to go to the office today to go see 5, 6 clients or have a big like staff meeting that I should have missed, but or not supposed to miss, but I got to call out or whatever, and then you might get in trouble at work, and that's gonna mess yourself up, and that's gonna mess up your relationship up because now you arguing with your partner because you messed me up because I got in trouble thanks to you when at work. So those things does happen. Just you know, just be careful. Seriously, it's a lot. And and again, I'll be talking about this in my upcoming book. Um, Another big one is this is the last example of it. I'm sure there's plenty others, but I'm limiting to these few examples. Is somebody getting personal accounts, like opening up credit cards in your name. Like you have a partner, they know your social security number, and obviously they know your address if you've been together for a while. And if they know your social, they opening up accounts in your name without telling you, and they jacking up your credit, um, spending money that you may not have to spend, or you like saving it, and obviously opening up credit cards, and now you building up credit, debt that you never intended to have. So trickle down effect now, because it's in your name, you're responsible to pay that down, and you may not have the money to pay that down. So these are just some examples in terms of financial abuse. Again, it doesn't get talked about as much in domestic violence situations, but obviously is important. We got gas prices through going up like crazy, inflation's going up like crazy. There's a lot of unknowns. Mass layoffs are happening literally at least once, twice a week in America. Um, there's a lot of instability as we have an unstable man uh, being president, and we got a war going on, and we got you know other conflicts throughout the world that affect the U.S. and the economy. So there's a lot of unknowns happening. So if you try to make a move, or in terms of work or what have you, spending money, or it's DEI, all the cuts of DEI affected many people I know, and even myself in a way, like to try to get like contracts to do speaking engagements. So it's like a lot of stuff is happening, and it's affecting people's pockets on a day in day out basis. So, uh, but the importance of talking about economic abuse, signs of financial abuse is as important as any physical abuse, emotional abuse in relationships, and obviously like emotional abuse will tie into like some money too, because now you're dealing with self-esteem issues, like the the cursing and stuff like that. When you're talking about money, obviously there's a lot of emotions. We talk about money, which is why I do what I do as a my financial social work, practice in talking to clients of dealing with their emotions in terms of their income, their money, and mistakes that they might make or have made, and trying to fix those mistakes, and dealing with that shame that comes in. So there's a lot of emotions in terms of money and income. So, a quick episode for today. Again, thank you for always supporting and rocking with the podcast. Dropping these episodes weekly is hard work. There's a lot going on. But yeah, I want to educate the masses. There's a lot, going on, and we just take it one day at a time. So stay safe out there, and we talk soon. Peace.